Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I am super duper excited because I just picked up this new palette called Agate Temptation or Agate. I don't actually know how you say this word, and I actually really like rocks, so whatever. But this is from Singe Beauty. Now, I have been watching the creator Angelica Nyquist. See, I'm not good at pronunciation. This is not my thing. I'm a reader. But I've been watching her only for a couple months actually, because I'm not a real big like YouTube watcher. But I really like all of her colorful things, and I like a lot of the color stories that she's done in the past with her Odin's Eye collabs. So I thought that I would pick this up because it actually looked really cute. And I ended up getting her other palette, Galactic Visitor, as well, which is also really cool. So I'm excited to show this one off. I already did one look with this, which was very green and red. I used this in my inner corner, and I used this red shimmer, and I kind of used this as a blendy shade. And then I think I used this one a lot on the outer corner to kind of blend it out. And I'll show you that look. And today I want to try and create a new look. I think I'm going to go for like a green and gold this time. So I want to try using this geode shade and this plume shade. I might use this crystallized. It kind of looks like it's going to be a little more yellow on the lid, or maybe pink. It's got some other kind of sheen to it rather than just a green. And I really wanted to use this gold gilded down here because I think this is super pretty. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so before we do anything, I'm just going to swatch a couple of these shades so I know what to expect. First I want to do crystallized. Oh, that's super, super pretty. So let's put it on my wrist and see how that looks. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was worried that that wouldn't be much of a green, but it's a gorgeous green. Yeah, that's great. So I think I am going to use this. And just to see, I want to see what gilded looks like also. Yes, I think this is going to be like a true gold. This will be super pretty. Oh, yes, exactly what I was hoping for. It's really, really pretty. Okay, now with those two pretty shades swatched, we kind of know what to expect. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to do both the green and the gold on the lid because I think that'll be gorgeous. And I think I'm going to put this plume, the darker green, kind of in the outer corner, and maybe bring it up a little bit into the crease. We'll see. And then I'd like to do geode. We'll see how dark geode is, because if it's too dark, I don't want to put it too far onto my lid. But I also don't want to reuse this banded color because it was such a big feature of my last look. So let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do to start is take this shade Geode, and I'm just going to put it kind of in the middle of my eye just to sort of see what it looks like. Okay, this isn't too dark, so I think what I'm going to do is put this on the first half of the eyelid. Okay, so that's on pretty well. Then I'm going to go ahead and go in with Plume in the outer corner. This is going to be really dark, but we'll see how it looks. I'm just going to be super careful with this. I don't need a whole ton because of how dark it is. It's like super wet here today. Like the humidity is crazy. So my brush just wants to stick to my skin and nothing wants to blend. Okay, and I'm gonna go back in and put a little bit of that geode back in there just because I need more color. Okay, and then finally I'm gonna get this big brush and I'm gonna take Chalcedony, and that one I'm gonna use as sort of like a transition shade. So I'm just gonna go in on top of everything and use this to blend it out really good. And there's that all blended in. I feel like I'm getting ready for a ball at the Ozfest. Okay, so I'm thinking, I'm wondering, do I want to put green on the lid or do I want gold on the lid? And then the other one I'm going to use underneath the eye. So I'm thinking gold on the lid. So I'm going to use this gilded shade. And I'm just going to go in there with my finger, because when you're putting a lot of shimmer on the eye, I just find the finger easier. Yes, this is so very Wizard of Oz. I'm in love with this. Okay, and since we have gold on the eye, we're gonna go in with this green under the eye. First, I think, yeah, I'm gonna take this first one we used, geode, and do a layer of that first. I think that'll be cute. Okay, I didn't use a whole ton of that, so what I'm gonna do is just blend that out really good, because I just kind of want it to be a base and not really like a prominent feature. Okay, so here we are. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of this crystallized. Here we go. Okay, so this is what I was afraid of. This is a weird thing to complain about. But the one thing I don't like about duochrome shimmers is that you never really know what color they're gonna look like once you've got them on. Like, we swatched this one. It was a really, really pretty green. Now we're putting it on top of this green shadow. It's kind of showing up almost golden. Okay, so to balance out that little bit of pink that I was not really looking for, I'm gonna go back in with this quartz shade. I use this for my inner corner and the other look also, but it's just so pretty. And yes, I feel like this is so gorgeous. Okay, to keep up with the green and gold theme, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. And this one is in the color Deep Green. L'Oreal makes a couple of colored mascaras that are really cute, but they're also dark, so they're kind of subtle on my eyes, which are dark. Okay, and to stick with this color theme, instead of doing a blush or a highlight, I'm just going to combine them and use this glow blush from Menagerie Cosmetics. This one is called Dandelion. It's super pretty. I love this blush. With a name like Dandelion, you'd think that it would be really yellow, and maybe it looks yellow on other people, but on my skin, it's like this burnished orange gold, which I think is just so gorgeous. Okay, and since I'm not using a highlight, and normally I would put a little bit of highlight along my brow bone, what I'm going to do is go into this palette, and I'm going to use this crystallized again. And we're just going to, with a super light hand, put a little bit of that on the brow. Just enough for a subtle shimmer, and then we'll really blend it in. I think this looks gorgeous. And I knew I had a golden lip color somewhere. This one is called Across the Galaxy. It's a Luxe Lip Oil from ColourPop. I don't think they have this one anymore. It's from the BT21 collection, so yeah, this is old. Yeah, I feel super cute. Okay, so now that we've done the look, some of my thoughts on this palette. First of all, I love this color story. Like, I tend toward, like, I love palettes with a lot of variety, but I love a monochromatic color story. And while this isn't monochrome, it does a really great job of greens, and it does a really great job of neutrals, and then it's got just like one little pop. Oh, look at this pretty red right here. Love this arrangement. Seriously, one of my favorites, because I don't know, I like to make kind of monochromatic looks that have a little pop of something different, and I feel like this is right up my alley for that. So I have to say I adore this. And green is one of my top favorite colors, so yeah, this was made for me. So I might be a little bit biased when I say how amazing I think this palette is. The shimmers perform so well, and even being able to pick them up with a brush really well, which sometimes I have trouble with. And then it was so easy to put them like in the inner corners or right on my brow, like just real detail work, which again, sometimes I struggle with shimmers. I think these are not as, like, the flakes aren't as large as some other shimmers from other brands. Like, I haven't bought from Adept Cosmetics in a long time, but some of my earlier Adept Cosmetics palette, like, the shimmers are real big flakes. And that is something that makes it so hard to precisely place them. Whereas these are just not as big and a lot easier to work with, in my opinion. The mattes are super blendable, and I really, again, love all of the color choices that we've been given here. So not only do we have neutrals, but we have, like, you can use your cool neutrals or you can use your warm toned neutrals. And either way, you can find a color that suits you. When I did my other look, I used a lot of these warm neutrals. I used Agate's, I don't know if that's how I say that. And I used Metamorphic, and I used Dendritic in that look, and that one really stood out too. And then for this one, I used these greens, which I guess aren't really the neutrals, but then I used that Chalcedony, which is like a really cool toned kind of neutral color, and that turned out super pretty as like a transition shade for me. So there's just a lot of variety, a lot of fun things to find, and a lot of opportunity to do some really creative stuff, like with the bright green Banded and with this red Volcanic. Those are your opportunities to make like those pops of color or those really pretty standout elements to a look. So love it. Love it, love it. So there you have it, my thoughts on the Agate Temptation palette from Singe Beauty. Again, I do like Angelica, but I've only been watching her for a couple months, so it's not like I'm super entwined in her fan base or anything. So I'm not recommending this just because I think she's cool, because I do think she's cool. But honestly, I think this is a really, really good palette. So if you would like to buy it, Singe Beauty has a website, and I can put the link for that down in the description because I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.